Hey everybody, Sean from Bike Tailor. Got a pretty exciting one today actually. We're building up a DeRosa. So yeah, haven't had a DeRosa through the shop for quite a long time. I think the last one I built up was back in Melbourne a few years ago. It was a rim brake version, and we had Shimano Durace on there. So slightly different build today. This one's got SRAM Access Red Hydro on it. So electronic, and it's got the hydraulic disc brakes. So a bit of a new one for me. So let's turn the camera around, have a look at how it's come, and go from there. So it was brought to me just like this in the box. Apparently it was built up prior to being shipped across. So that definitely makes me feel good that all the parts should be here. I have no idea how far built it was and then pulled apart, so I'm assuming it should only be a pretty simple partial build. Straight away, oh, I'm seeing some nice tires. Victoria Corsa next, I like them. All right, so I'll start pulling it out and then just kind of film as we go and take it from there. So first thing we pulled out was a big packet. It's got a whole lot of the manufacturer's documents, whatever. And then also what we've pulled out is the plug for the fork steerer, the top of the headset there, which actually I haven't pulled it out yet, but it looks like we got some Vision Metron bars. So it's got this nifty little compression cap that sits on top. A few different fittings for the computer mounts. He had added in some Ultegra pedals. We have it's just where the batteries and the charging for the batteries is. And then it's Vision Metron wheels. So it's come with tubeless tape. That's to secure the valves so that they don't rattle in the wheels. For the rotors, center lock, the valves, tubeless, and end caps. I presume those are 15 mil end caps if you want to run it 15 maybe for the wheels. So that and your through axles. So let me keep pulling stuff out and I'll get this stuff out of the way. So these are the wheels that came packaged as is. Interesting choice leaving the discs on in the packaging. Obviously they're more confident that the discs aren't going to warp than I am, but we'll find out when it's all installed. So the wheels are like pretty much assembled. Everything's on there, so we've got excess stuff over there which he'll have as spare, but it's already got the center locks, everything on there. Tubes installed, it looks like. We got 28 mil Victoria Corsa Next wheels, tires, which I love. Love these tires. SRAM Red cassettes on there. So yes, that's all ready to go. Just need to pump them up. And that's how the bike comes out of the box. So this is from this company actually. I think they're in Italy. So the customer just got it sent straight to his house. And here it is. So first thing we're going to need to do is obviously pull the seat post out, fit that into the frame, get it up into the stand, and then we can start to pull all this stuff off. So I'll just do all of that because that's tedious and boring, and then come back and show you what we got to do for assembly. Just a quick next step, we need to, usually would put a bit of carbon paste onto this just so we don't have any slippage. So I'm just going to apply some of this Finish Line product, just put it on here so that then when we slide her into here and tighten it up, we know we're not going to have any slippage later down the line. So I'll do that and then get it up in the stand. So first hiccup, it's always funny when something as simple as putting the seat post in lands up taking way longer than it should. But essentially you have this clamp sitting inside the seat post. As you tighten the bolt, this slides up and tightens up onto the seat post. But the way it sits in the frame here, it just keeps wanting to tilt forward. So as I try to slide the seat post in, it's knocking on that top lip of this thing. So the seat post just keeps knocking that, and then it wants to fall. So I've pulled it out. Noticed there's absolutely no grease on this, so that would be a bit of a disaster down the line if that all gets rusty or galled up or whatever. So I'll lubricate that in the meantime, reassemble this, put it in, and try to work out a way that we can hold this snug enough that we can get the seat post in without touching that top lip and knocking it forward. All right, so this is where we're at. So the bars I haven't even put them on, but they were just hanging, so I've just put that there. And the only other thing I did was just put the throughout so the chain's not hanging around too much, but it's effectively looking pretty much assembled. I haven't checked the hydro and how that's all going, but that looks to all be assembled. Cranks, bottom brackets in, so we've really just got to install the rear derailleur, put the wheels in, and finish assembling this. It's actually got a compression plug and all of that in there, so not going to need the spare one that we looked at earlier. Just compress that all down, make sure that we have the measurements right for this rider. And that's it. So it's a pretty quick assembly. It is looking pretty nice. I quite like this carbon weave matte finish. Quite pretty. Especially against the white. So let me finish taking all the packaging off. I'll put the headset on and the rear derailleur, and then we can throw the wheels in and see what it's looking like. All right, well, this is probably one of the quickest builds I've ever done. For more of a just assembly, because it looks like it's pretty much done. What I've got to check is I'm going to just check all the little bolts are tight. I will check the bottom bracket, make sure that the cranks are central as well. So I'll measure that, check that that's tight and is all installed correctly. Headset as well, I need to adjust that properly. And then I've got the customer's fit. So I need to just double check and see if we've got the height correct, and then the obviously saddle height, but then fore and aft as well. So we'll double check all of those things to make sure that's all matching up. Then we'll check that the brakes are working well, the gears are working well, and that's it. Pump the tires up and send him on his way. So yeah, pretty quick one. Nice looking frame. So it's the Rosa 70 Pininfarina. Pretty iconic, beautiful font, that one. So I'll put the pedals on, do all those little things, and then we'll take the bike outside and just get a few more good pictures of it, and quick test ride, and we're done. Pedals on. The computer mount was the other thing I hadn't done, so I just had to screw those in, and the little GoPro mount, and then it's 2 bolts underneath that go in there. Not that easily, but looks pretty nifty. So yeah, that's pretty much the build at this point. I'll take it outside and just get some nicer shots of it. And there we go. That is the build. So this is, I just did a little bit of reading. They brought this frame out in honor of Rosa that recently died. So it's called the 70. It was in collaboration with design studio Pininfarina. This bike is running SRAM Red Access 12-speed. It's got the Vision wheels with the Vittoria Corsa tires, which I love. Nice little touch with the wheels. They give you these little stickers so that your valve doesn't rattle. So that works nicely, sticks really well. Paint is really pretty. It's not showing up brilliantly in this light, but it's like a pearl pearl white, so it does have a little bit of a sort of like glitteriness in the sun. But yeah, overall it was pretty easy just putting it together. We've got the measurements as close as we can for this rider, so saddle height and tip to bars is exactly the same as his other bike. The bars to front axle, so that drop is a little bit lower than his other bike, but it's an aero bike, so hopefully he's excited to go fast in it. Well, thanks for joining us on that one. Pretty cool to get to see this bike so soon after it's been released. It's very pretty. Looks like it should be fast. I'll have to get the customer to tell me how it rides. It's a bit big for me to give it a proper test. I've checked obviously that all the gears are shifting well, limits were set, B screw, all of that stuff was well done. There were a couple issues with the limits, how to get those right, so got that all sorted out. Have adjusted the headset, made sure that's all fine. Checked that the rotors were tight, the disc brakes, they were actually a bit loose, the calipers, so we've tightened those up and centered them. So overall it was really more just checking over and making sure everything is tight and the way it should be working. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and any questions, let us know. See you later.